VCT Americas Super Week is almost over, and we've had some insane matches with some titans falling and some underdogs making it to the top. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking about 4 matches from the VCT Americas Super Week. Tomorrow is the last day, so before those get going, I want to recap the ones that have happened so far. I did a video on the first 4, so you can check that out after this one, but we're going to be talking about the one that happened on Monday and Tuesday. So these are the 4 matches we're going to be talking about today, starting with G2 versus Furia. This was a 2-0 victory on the side of G2, and that's not really a surprise. Furia have really been struggling during this split. They really haven't looked like a good team at all. They don't look like they have any comeback potential or some upset potential. They just look absolutely lost out there, and G2, I will give them praise for winning this game, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because this is an easy win. I think anybody facing Furia at this point is a free win. It just doesn't look like they're going to win anything. I've said that about teams before, but with Furia, it really does feel like that. Looking at the first map, that was Lotus. This was just an absolute blowout on the side of G2, 13-3. Furia did win the pistol and the bonus, but then G2 won 9 in a row to take a stranglehold on the match, and then 4 in a row on their second half to win it. And then Icebox was basically the same exact story, same exact scoreline, 13-3 as well. G2 winning the pistol this time. Furia, again, their 3-round wins really early on. Looks like, oh, they tied it. Maybe they can do something. No, it's G2 win the rest of the rounds. It's over. Looking at the MVPs of both teams, Trent went 31, 10, and 14 for plus 21. A very solid match from Trent. Glad to see him on the board as the MVP. And for Furia, Nazwar had the least mediocre numbers out of everybody. He does show up as the MVP for this team yet again. 20, 26, and 4 for -6. So for Furia, I don't really see them doing anything. I'm really not going to spend too much time on their matches and videos right now because it's going to be the same story every time. So until they win, I'm just not going to give any team credit for beating them, and I'm not going to give them any credit for performing badly. G2's record is now 2-1, which is good. They recover after their loss. And then Furia is, of course, 0-3. Don't see that record changing anytime soon. Now moving on to a match that you would think would be a lot closer than that one, but it was, but also wasn't. 2-0 victory in favor of 100 Thieves. They beat Cloud9, who have lost their first match of this split. And 100 Thieves did play extremely well during this match. They look much better as a unit. They're really starting to hit their stride. Cloud9 were playing really good up until this match, but they were able to weather their storm and to just make some insane plays to take the match. Asuna was doing great. Bane looked so much better during this match than he had in previous ones. There was, of course, the Boostio mouse dying incident, which was hilarious and was just so funny to me how they ended up winning that round, partially due to Boostio actually using himself as a body shield and getting them that round win. Cryo was hitting some insane shots, and they won map 1 on an eco round with a Viper's Pit, which was very bold of them, but it ended up paying off. Looking at the first map on Bind, we had 100 Thieves win the first 4 in a row. C9 were able to get 2, and then it was a pretty back and forth match from there. C9 then taking 2 on their defense side, but then 100 Thieves taking control of the map and winning 4 in a row, losing 1, and then winning the last one. So 8-4 at the half, and then 100 Thieves were able to grind it out and win. Then on Ascent, 100 Thieves really were not letting C9 do what they've done up until this point, where they lose the first map, look kind of bad on the first map, and then come back during the second and third. 100 Thieves were not letting C9 get away with that this time. They won 10 rounds in a row to start, and then they ended the half 11-1, so they only needed 2 in their second half to win, and despite C9 making a push and winning 5 in a row, with Vanity teabagging as well, which, sure, if you want to do that when you're down by this much, go ahead, I guess. But 100 Thieves were able to regain composure and win the match. Looking at the MVPs on both teams' side, I'm very happy to be putting Asuna as 100 Thieves MVP. You could have put a couple players, but I'm putting him for this time. He had a fantastic match. 36, 21, and 27 for plus 15. I am very happy to see this. So now we've been waiting for him to really look like a top-tier player in this stage, even though 100 Thieves did win their last game as well. Asuna wasn't looking fantastic, so very glad to see him here. And on the side of C9, you kind of got to put Oxy because no one else really had a great match. I mean, Zeppa played okay. Rooney was just absolutely lost the entire time. But Oxy went 35, 37, and 7 for -2. So 100 Thieves, they now have a record of 2 wins, 1 loss, and C9 drops to 3-1. Very good stuff by 100 Thieves. It finally bit C9, losing that first map. They haven't been able to win a first map so far this split, but this time it finally bit them, and 100 Thieves They're looking a lot better. I'm very excited to see how far this team can go. And for C9, they'll probably be able to recover. They're still in a pretty good spot for the playoffs, but it's going to be very competitive because their group has a lot of teams with a lot of wins. So we'll see what happens. So moving on to the April 23rd game, starting off with Evil Geniuses versus Sentinels. What happened here? This was just insane. Now, Evil Geniuses are a team that up until this match were really struggling to find much of anything. Their players looked completely out of sorts. No one was hitting a lot of shots. There was some upset potential that you could see, but it really wasn't coming through. It was looking like the Evil Geniuses team that was playing at the start of the regular season last year. But this is a completely different roster. They don't have that same talent aside from Giacomo, who has been looking really bad up until this match. He had a fantastic bounce back today. And while I will give a lot of praise to Evil Geniuses for finally hitting their stride and looking like a good team in this game, it was also an extremely sloppy win. Sentinels were not playing up to par, not even close to the level that they could. I am very concerned about Sentinels right now. I know they've only lost 2 games, but that's actually very detrimental to their chances at playoffs. So looking at the first map of Lotus, I don't know what's up with Sentinels' Lotus right now. I mean, they did win this one, but as I said, it was extremely sloppy and they needed to pull a huge comeback out of a hat. EG wins 7 rounds in a row to take a very good lead, and then Sentinels were able to get it up to 9-3, which is not a curse anymore. I keep saying that, but for EG, kind of was today, because Sentinels stormed back to win 9 rounds in a row. EG do get one on their defense side, but it wasn't able to stop the momentum that Sentinels had. So for Sentinels and Sentinels fans, you're like, well, we had an extremely sloppy start. We had to come back to win this one. We kind of got lucky with that one. But hey, now we have the momentum going into the next map. We should be able to take this, right? We're going to bind and we have a comp that we haven't lost on yet. We're 3-0 with this comp with 10s on the get-go. So we should be okay, right? No. No, not at all. No, not really. It was close, at least. 13-11 on the side of Evil Geniuses. Sentinels, they did look great during the first half. They won 10 rounds in a row. I know in Valorant, anyone can win. Any one team can beat another team given a certain day. But I don't know how Sentinels, the winners of Madrid, a team that has proven that they can beat some very extremely talented teams, can choke a 10-2 lead on a map that they have a good record on. How does that happen? I do not care how well EG played in that second half. You cannot let that happen as Sentinels. That is just unacceptable. EG won 11 rounds on their attack half, and Sentinels just couldn't even tie it to get to overtime. If they got to overtime, maybe they would have been able to win it, but they just crumbled. They just crumbled during their defense half, and you really shouldn't be doing that. Then we go to Sunset, which, if you look at the records, definitely favors Sentinels. They've had a quite good record on Sunset this year. Evil Genius is good on it too, yes, but Sentinels, they've definitely been one of the better teams at this map. So this whole map pool for this match 100% favored Sentinels if you looked at the past. Lotus, their best map, almost choked it. Bind, a map they've proven to be good on, choked it. And Sunset, while it was pretty back and forth, yeah, definitely a choke. 6-6 at the half, so both teams trading rounds going back and forth. This was just an absolutely bonkers match from start to finish. EG win the pistol and the bonus. Sentinels get one. 3 in a row for EG. Back and forth for a bit, and Sentinels almost tied up, but it doesn't matter. EG take the match. So as Potter tweeted out, she maintains her perfect streak against Kaplan and the Sentinels, and this was just crazy. This was just bonkers, and if there's any way for Evil Geniuses to turn their season around, it's a game like this. For the MVPs on both teams, for Sentinels, John QT did go 54, 47, and 27 for +7. He was the only Sentinels player with a positive kill-death differential. But Giacomo, as I said, fantastic bounce back from him. Super happy to see this. He went 59, 51, and 10 for +8. A lot of good performances on the side of Evil Geniuses. They definitely played quite well today. They deserved this one. EG's record is 1-3 now, and Sentinels is 2-2. And as I said, this definitely puts their playoff hopes in jeopardy. There's a real possibility that C9 only lose once. They lost that one during 100 Thieves. There's a real good chance NRG only lose one match, so they need a lot of teams above them to struggle more than they already have. I don't know if Crew maintains their current top spot in the group. They've had the easiest schedule so far, but Sentinels have put themselves in kind of a bad spot. These are matches that you need to win. Losing against Leviathan, I can excuse that. Leviathan are looking extremely good right now. But these matches against these lower seeded teams, these teams that you're seeing as a lot better than, you have to win these. It does not matter how how good the other team is playing, you have to turn it on. You have to be ready for this. And it just seemed like they weren't. And Kaplan is very not happy. I think he's going to really make sure that this doesn't happen. But I don't know. Sentinels, it's just looking rough for them. We'll see if they can recover. We'll see how the rest of the group does. But their destiny isn't in their hands anymore. Moving on to our last match to talk about, we have Energy 2-0ing MIBR. Just like the G2 versus Furia match, this isn't a result that you should be totally surprised by. Energy, after getting absolutely dumpstered on by Leviathan, definitely needed a bounce back game, and taking on a team like MIBR, which hasn't won yet, is the perfect way to do it. And at the start of the first map, which was split, it was looking like, oh, maybe this is going to be a little bit of a closer match. But that didn't end up being the case in the end. 13-9 in favor of Energy. Energy won 7 rounds in the first half, so hey, it's 7-5. This is maybe some hope for MIBR. Ooh, maybe Energy's not doing great, but then their defense side just kind of kills him. Wasn't just a total domination or anything, but Energy do win the pistol and the bonus. MIBR won 3, and then 3 for Energy, and they just need 1 more. They got it. And then Breeze was the stomping that everybody was expecting. Energy with a commanding 9-3 lead after the first half, and then winning 4 in a row to take the match. Looking at the team MVPs, we have Victor with a fantastic bounce back match, going 40, 21, and 8 for plus 19. That double duelist comp with him on the Rays and then Demon 1 on the Jet is actually looking pretty good on split. We'll see how that develops. And on the side of MIBR, JZZ had, again, the least mediocre numbers, 27, 31, and 8 for -4. Energy is now 3-1. Again, good bounce back from their Leviathan match. I really am curious to see how the rest of their schedule goes. They have EG next, who are coming off of a very insane upset win, so we'll see if EG can do the same to Energy, but Energy has to make sure they prevent that from happening. And then they have 100 Thieves, a team that has shown a lot of upset potential and looked really good against C9. So neither of those are free wins on the side of Energy, but I do expect them to at least win one of those. They should be making playoffs. I don't know if they make top seed at this point, but they're a very strong team. They're a good team. That was a really awful match against Leviathan, so this was like a body cleanse. And for MIBR, it's looking very dire at this point. If they lose one more, they are officially eliminated from playoff contention. Not that they were going to get there anyway, but any hope of this team maybe upsetting a couple of good teams during this split doesn't seem like it's there. So it's unfortunate, but it's not a result that's totally unexpected for them. So looking forward to today's matches, we have G2 versus Leviathan and then Crew versus Loud. 2 very interesting matches, to be honest, but I think I'm going to be taking Leviathan against G2. I think they're playing really well right now, and while G2 have looked pretty up and down, I maybe they can make it close, but Leviathan, I see Aspas just running that team over. And then Crew versus Loud, and if you asked me at any other point during the year, I definitely would have said Loud. But honestly, Crew's playing really good right now. Loud have stumbled recently. Crew has been able to beat every other Brazilian team. Maybe I'm going to get wacky and choose Crew. I think I'm going to do that. Probably end up being Run because Loud's very good. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And yeah, go Crew. So that is all for this video. Please let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the video and the matches that we talked about today. Please click like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.